Mercury just settled into Taurus, and Pluto is about to go retrograde in Aquarius. Mercury in Taurus slows the mind down into something more deliberate, more sensory, more grounded. And Pluto retrograde turns the lens inward on the power structures we've normalized, including the ones we've built around money. This is a good week to ask an honest question. Is your money practice something you actually maintain or something you survive? When I was building my tax practice, I was in a particular kind of irony. I was helping people get their finances in order, walking them through their avoidance patterns, holding space for the shame and the scramble and the chaos that comes from not having a regular practice with money. And I was doing almost none of it for myself. I didn't set aside money for my own taxes throughout the year because I knew tax season would bring in enough to cover it. I didn't keep up with bookkeeping regularly because I knew I could pull it together quickly when I needed to. It was easier for me than it was for most of my clients. I had the skills, I knew the language, so I told myself that made it fine. But easier isn't the same as good, and efficient isn't the same as a healthy relationship. What I actually had was an unconscious cycle: spend freely, float it on credit, let the seasonal windfall reset everything. No regular practice, no ongoing attentiveness, just a managed version of the same avoidance my clients were dealing with, dressed up in professional competence. And to the extent that I tried to build a more consistent money practice during that season, it was completely transactional, checking boxes, getting current. There was no intention behind it, no real sense of tending to something, just maintenance performed under mild dread. It took a confronting moment of honesty to see that something was wrong with the approach, not with me, but with the approach. And that realization is what eventually sent me looking for a different way, one that didn't require me to force myself through something my system was clearly rejecting month after month. That's the grounding code, or more accurately, that's what life looks like before you know yours. In cosmic currency, the grounding code is rooted in your moon placement, the planet that governs your emotional body, your nervous system, and what you actually need to feel safe. And when it comes to money, this code is one of the most practically important in the entire system, because consistency with money isn't a willpower problem, it's a nervous system problem. When your money practice doesn't match what your system needs to feel regulated, avoidance isn't laziness. It's a rejection signal. Your body is telling you that this particular approach, the one that works for someone else, the one a mentor recommended, the one that's technically correct, is not the one it can sustain. I worked with a client. She runs a health-focused consulting practice whose grounding code completely reframed why her money practice kept falling apart. Her code came through as Moon in Gemini in the sixth house. What that means practically is that her nervous system stabilizes through variety, light touch points, and bite sized mental engagement, not long, concentrated sessions of financial work. The one big monthly money date that gets recommended everywhere. For her, it was actually destabilizing. Too much accumulated weight in a single sitting. Her system needed frequent, short contact with her numbers. Not a marathon she had to psyche herself up for. Once that landed, everything shifted. She broke the process into pieces. Data entry separate from review, review separate from decision making. She described it as spreadsheets that didn't give her hives just thinking about them. She went from avoiding her books for weeks to implementing a new rhythm within an hour of receiving her code. Not because she found more discipline, because she finally had a system her nervous system could actually accept. That's what a secure relationship with money looks like from the inside, not the system that's theoretically best. The system your body will actually show up for consistently over time. Pluto retrograde is asking you to look inward at the structures you've normalized. including the story that if your money practice feels like punishment, you just need to try harder. That story is not serving you. If something reliably creates dread, that's data. Your grounding code is how you read that data and build something your system can genuinely hold. If you want to know where you're currently starting from, whether your relationship with money is showing up as avoidance, anxious over control, a disorganized swing between the two, or something that's starting to feel genuinely stable, the cosmic money style quiz names your money attachment style right now, clearly and without shame. That's always the most honest place to begin. Take it at cosmicb.lin.